We are recording. We are starting. We are in section 2.9. And today we are doing nothing but percent problems. Now the way I'm going to ask you to set up all of your percent problems today are in proportions. That's it. And this is how we're going to set all of them up, and it will work every single time. Every time. We're going to do percent over 100 equals is over of. Every time. And then, of course, when you have two proportions equal to each other, we cross multiply. And divide. Is over of. That's going to be our proportion. Here's example number 1. We're going to start with what percent of 75 is 15. Whoops, is 15. All right. So it says what percent. So what do you think we're going to put in the percent spot? X. That's our question. We don't know what it is. Over 100 equals is. Out of this, which number is? 15 over 75. Then we cross multiply. X times 75 is 75x equals 100 times 15 or 1500. Dividing both sides by 75. X equals it is 20%. Exactly. Let's do another one. Yes. Again, trust me. Example number 2. Let's go with what percent of 48 is 20? So again, our first ratio, we don't know what percent, so we're going to put a variable there. X over 100 equals is. What number is? 20 over of. Perfect. And how do we solve it? Good. Cross multiply. 48x equals 2,000. Dividing both sides by 48. Get x equals what? 4.16? I got 41.6 repeating. All right, 41.6. You can put it repeating or 6.7 either way. Oh, 2,000. Okay, it happens. No big deal. All right, so does everybody understand when it asks for what percent, this is how you set it up, right? That's exactly what you are doing for 9 through 14. And all 9 through 14, it's asking for what percent. Okay? Okay, 10 through 14. Goodness. If you want to do one more, we can. All right, here we go. Again, I want to remind you, we're going to go percent over 100 equals is over of. Here's example number 3. This time, let's say, what is 60% of 200? So, percent, what is our percent? So we have 60 over 100 equals, yes, x over 200 is over of. Every single time works. Now we cross multiply. 100 times x is 100x. 200 times 60 is 12,000. Dividing both sides by 100. X equals 120. Thank you. I told you guys these problems were easy. Example number 4. How about what is 30% of 150? All right, Ian, set it up for me.
30 over 100 equals X over 20.
Perfect. Thank you. So when we cross multiply, we have 100 times X is 100X. 150 times 30 is 4,500. Maybe. Dividing both sides by 100. Perfect. X equals 45. The problems set up like this are problems 15 through 20. All right, again, I want to remind you we're doing percent over 100 equals is over of. Example number 5. In example number 5, let's say we have 80% of what number is 12? All right, so again, percent over 100, or 80 over 100 equals is 12 of is our X. When we cross multiply, X times 80 is 80X. 12 times 100 is 1,200. Divide both sides by 80. X equals 15. Right, everything goes in exactly the same place, right? If it's always percent over 100 equals is over of, it works every single time. Okay, yes. No, not yet. Hold on. Mr. Impatient. Example number 6. Let's do 160% of what number is 70? Corbin, set this one up for me.
So 160 over 100 equals 70 over X.
Good. And we're going to cross multiply. X times 160 is 160X. 100 times 70 is 7,000. Divide both sides by 160. Sorry, somebody's phone's going off, so it's not letting me write. All right. I'm sorry. What did you say that was, Jess? 43.75. Thank you. All right. So this is what you're doing for problems 23 through 28. They are set up exactly like this. So as you refer back to your notes, exactly how they're set up. Now I'm going to tell you in just a minute. So we have 21 and 22, and we have 28 or 29 and 30. So 4 problems to talk about. 2 and 2. Yes, Jordan, go ahead. No, there is no stupid question, but if you figured it out, that's even better. Okay, here's example number 7. On example number 7, this will help you with 21 and 22. Let's say I buying a pair of jeans that normally cost $65 on sale for 20% off. What do they cost? All right. So there are two different ways we can set this up. Okay, and I want to talk about both, and I'm going to tell you which one I prefer. But we're going to start by, what do you think, Ian, we should set it up as? 80 over 100. All right. Yep, just a minute. Explain why you say 80. Off. Right. Exactly. It's 20% off, so it's actually 80% of 100, right? And our pants, we don't know how much the price is at 80%, but they were originally $65. So now we cross multiply. 100 times x is 100x. 80 times 65. Thank you. And then if we divide both sides by 100, how much are the jeans at 20% off? $52. I agree. So that is one way to do it. That's my preferable way, is to take the 80%. Option number 2 is if you chose to go 20% out of 100 equals x over 65. You get 100x equals 1,300. Yeah. I'm trying to multiply in my head. And then dividing both sides by 100, you get x equals 13. Well, what does that 13 represent? Not percent. Yeah, this is how much it's off. Right, so you actually have to take your 65 and subtract 13 to get 52. Either way is correct. I actually find it less work if you do the 80% of what you have. But it's up to you which way you do it. Either way, you can set it up as a proportion. Questions? All right, one last thing to talk about then. I can wait till I won't move it yet, just a second. Last thing I want to talk about is simple interest rate. Simple interest rate. Government. So throughout this whole year, we're going to have compound interest and continually, and compounding continually and different things. Today, we're only talking about simple interest rate. You're good? All right. So, simple interest rate. Simple interest rate follows this equation. I equals PRT. I is your interest. P is what we call the principal, or the starting amount. R is your rate, but your rate has to be written as a decimal. And T is time. All right, so here is example number 8, which will help you with 29 and 30. You deposit let's say $1,500 into an account at a simple interest rate of 5.3%. That's the point right there. How much will you have in 10 years. All right. So again, I equals your starting amount. How much am I depositing to begin with? Good, 1,500. Then we got to multiply by the rate, but the rate has to be a decimal. Right now it's a percent. It is 5.3%. How do I change a percent to a decimal? We move it over 2 places, exactly. So our rate is going to be 0.053. And then how many years? 10. Grab your calculators. Type this all in. And that's your what? Interest.
That's how much you would pay for 10 years.
That's how much money you would get back in interest if you didn't touch it for those 10 years.
Not a lot of money. So what you basically do though, that's similar to cash back from $3.
Mhm.
So would you just go top to bottom kinda?
Kinda, but you've got to make sure you change your rate to a decimal and how much you're starting with. Those are keys. Percent. They're going to tell it to you in a percent. You just got to make it a decimal by moving it over 2. Other questions? Yeah, this is actually what they use when they talk about a Christmas Club account. You put money into a Christmas Club account, it sits there for a whole year before you can take it out to buy Christmas presents. Different things like that. So, yeah. Okay, you guys. So, your homework, you are doing 10 through 30 all. You can see that these proportions are important. Okay? I need to see you're putting everything in the right spot. And again, I guarantee it works every single